This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the New York Times, Russia-Ukraine War Summary. The Red Cross has registered hundreds of Ukrainian soldiers who recently surrendered to Russian forces in the hopes of ensuring humane treatment for them under the Geneva Conventions. The Russian government is reportedly considering several tweaks to its military recruiting standards that would allow them to accept older people for new military duty. And this is thought to be the consequence of them having trouble finding enough qualified servicemen to fill support roles, like medics and engineers, due to losses early in their invasion of Ukraine. Russia went through with its threat to suspend electricity exports to Finland, which the Finnish government has said won't have much of an impact because they didn't get much from Russia in the first place. And Russian forces have consolidated their hold over several portions of eastern Ukraine they've captured, installing friendly governance and a ruble-based economy, and generally doing exactly what you'd expect them to do if they were intending to hold on to and ultimately annex these areas. The former Chancellor of Germany and current chair of the board for the Russian oil giant Rosneft, Gerhard Schroeder, will be stepping down from that position, according to a company spokesperson. That's not ideal for Russia, as he has been a prominent supporter of Russian President Putin and remains well respected by some Western officials. This announcement landed shortly after the German government said they would strip Schroeder of some expensive privileges he enjoys as a former chancellor because of his failure to distance himself from Putin. From Reuters, Australia ousts Conservatives after 9 years. The centre-left Labour Party is primed to boot the long-ruling Conservative Liberal National Coalition from power following Australia's weekend federal election. The Labour Party is all but certain to form a new government, but votes are still being tallied, and it's unclear whether it will be a minority or majority government, as while the Liberal National Coalition had an abysmal showing, and Labour did well, other further left parties did very well. So there is a chance Labour will have to negotiate a coalition with another party, like the Greens, who saw significant gains this election, in order to form a functioning government. Climate change and the outgoing government's lack of plans or action to address it is thought to have been a key component of their defeat, and is also thought to be why many of the smaller parties who have been banging the drum for more climate-related policies did so well. And from the Wall Street Journal, mysterious hepatitis outbreak in children spurs global race for answers. More than 400 children around the world have come down with unexplained severe cases of hepatitis over the past few months, leading to at least 6 deaths and more than 24 liver transplants. Researchers are scrambling to figure out what might be causing these cases, which manifest as liver inflammation and can be deadly, but which don't seem to be caused by the usual hepatitis catalysts. They've already ruled out COVID vaccines as a possible cause, as the vast majority of afflicted children are unvaccinated. About 75% of them are under the age of 5 and are thus ineligible for vaccination. But they're still looking into the COVID-19 coronavirus and a common childhood stomach bug called adenovirus 41 as possible causes. In the former case, because COVID is so widespread and rapidly mutating, and in the latter case, because about 70% of the children who were positive for hepatitis in the UK tested positive for it as well. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.